News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. European leaders and other allies told the U.S. that its peace plan for Ukraine needed additional work. In a rushed bid to try and slow-walk a Trump administration determined to give concessions to Russia and impose terms by Thanksgiving, they issued a statement at a Group of 20 summit in South Africa that President Trump blew off, but where many of them were headed to when the controversial details of the 28-point peace plan were leaked. The U.S. set an ultimatum for Thursday. In Johannesburg, the panicked leaders sought to buy President Volodymyr Zelensky time and scrambled to get on a call, exchange notes, and come up with a counter-proposal that would not alienate an impatient U.S. Israel Defense Forces began strikes against Hamas targets in Gaza after an armed person crossed the yellow line and fired at Israeli soldiers deployed in the south of the Strip. This according to an IDF statement. No injuries were reported among IDF soldiers, as the IDF says it eliminated the person who fired the shots and says the incident was a blatant violation of the ceasefire agreement. President Trump on the resignation of Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I just disagreed with her philosophy. She started backing perhaps the worst Republican congressman in our history, this stupid person named Massey. And I said, go your own way. And once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived a primary. But I think she's a nice person.
Trump speaking to reporters on Saturday. Greene announced Friday night that her resignation will be effective as of January 5th. The FAA is warning aircraft to exercise caution in and around Venezuelan airspace amid an escalating standoff between the Trump administration and Nicolas Maduro's regime. The FAA issued an advisory telling operators to take caution at all altitudes due to the worsening security situation and heightened military activity around Venezuela. Investors are keeping a close eye on what could be a tight vote for a rate cut next month. Bloomberg's Monica Ricks reports.
Division at the Federal Reserve has intensified in recent weeks ahead of the central bank's December policy meeting, with officials on both sides of the fence about whether to cut interest rates again. Voting members of the rate-setting Federal Open Market Committee are now evenly split over what to do, with some against and others, like New York Fed President John Williams, signaling support for a cut. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has stayed silent. But the markets are betting with Williams, with odds now above 60% that we could see some change next month. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Radio.
Online sports betting is bigger than ever and keeps growing, and one equities trading platform is looking to cash in. Bloomberg's Tom Busby has more.
Just ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday and all those critical late-season NFL and college football games, Robinhood Markets is expanding its prediction market offerings for sports bettors. With its interface looking a lot more like a traditional sports book, Robinhood will make it easier for its customers to trade contracts tied to sports, and by adding a sports hub, it allows users to set a price and number of orders on prop bets on live games and matches. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
A Harvard University database of alumni, donors, some students, and faculty was accessed by an unauthorized party after a phone phishing attack, the latest cyber attack on Ivy League schools, and the second time Harvard has investigated a breach this year. The breach, which happened Tuesday, includes personal contact information, donation details, and other data from fundraising and alumni engagement. Harvard is the oldest and richest U.S. university and is a fundraising powerhouse, typically raising more than $1 billion annually. In October, Harvard said it was investigating reports that its data was compromised in a hacking campaign targeting Oracle customers. A dispute between an English local council and the newspaper that covers it shows how press limits are spreading to places once thought immune. Press freedom is under fire around the world. You can read all about it in Bloomberg's Weekend Edition, exploring the places where finance, life, and culture meet. Find it now on Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. This is Bloomberg.